one or two others.
Would you say that the standard of technique has gone up rather than down? Would you say that the best of the modern pianists are at least as good or even possibly better than some of the giants of the past?
Well, I'm afraid the standard of technique has gone up, which is a pity, because that is at very great expense. But the giants will still loom large. It doesn't matter. It's alarming. I hear sometimes on the radio or the gramophone record by youngsters with terrific technique, which is wonderful in its way. But what they miss is a different story. If they're not encouraged too much, they might come to a certain level and then find themselves and then use this technique in good stead. But if they're encouraged because they say there's phenomenal technique and so on, and they still try and play faster and louder, then it's a lost cause.
But then you were a prodigy yourself as a child, surely, Moiseiwitsch. When you were playing at 9 years old, before you went to Leschetizky and so on, you had a technique which exceeded your expressive powers, didn't you?
I don't know. I never really strived to get a phenomenal technique. It does not interest me. But Leschetizky, since you mentioned his name, he opened my eyes. He is supposed to have been the greatest teacher for technique, which is all wrong. With him it was color, and he tried to instill musicianship into the artist, into his pupils. But technique, naturally, you had to have a certain technique as a means to an end, and that he kept on emphasizing. Now, with all my respect and admiration for Horowitz, I blame him for it. Because since he came, I mean, it was something a hurricane, and everybody started to emulate him. But Horowitz is a great artist, is a great musician. But there were so many teachers and pianists that try to say, oh, I can play this as fast as Horowitz and as loudly. And they do, but that's all there is to it. Naturally, there are a few exceptions, and these exceptions will eventually emerge as good or great pianists.